That's a big problem. And that happens a lot. You'll have currencies that go up or down. And nothing you can do about it if you're in those countries, unless you have a new type of currency that isn't affected by things such as that. All right. So now I want to talk about, and I told people that I wanted to talk about RAIDA Tech, which is a brand new company that was just launched by the founder of CloudCoin, Sean Worthington, and it utilizes the technology, the underlying technology of CloudCoin. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that real quick, but I'm also going to talk about how this new company and its success can have a very, very significant long-term impact on the price of CloudCoin and the ability to use CloudCoin in more and more places. So to understand why does CloudCoin work the way it does, we have to understand first how blockchain and cryptocurrencies work. The whole concept is you have a Bitcoin, and then because this Bitcoin has virtually every single transaction that's ever happened connected to it, this Bitcoin then can be verified by a seller coming from a buyer. So that's essentially, you have essentially what is a code that's attached to your Bitcoin. I'm just going to call it a code. It isn't exactly that. It's called a blockchain. It's a continuous record of the transactions of the particular currency. And through this code or this blockchain, this ever-growing blockchain, the person who's on the other end of a transaction can make sure that this Bitcoin is real. And it's done through all these miners that are all over the world. But as you can only imagine, this Bitcoin, as it's used more and more, has more transactions connected with it, which makes it harder and harder to use, costing more and more energy to use. So the thing that RAIDA, the underlying technology of CloudCoin, solved was the verification of an asset instantaneously, not through the use of transactions. And let me explain that. When dollars were first made, and are made even to this very day, they're made on they're made on paper and inks. Paper and inks are used. They're very difficult to counterfeit. Okay? So that's the concept of a paper money, particularly the US paper money called dollars. They're printed in a process that is very difficult to counterfeit. And they use special inks and special products inside the paper that make it very difficult to counterfeit. So the way you know that if you're going to receive a dollar or a $20 piece or a $100 bill, you look at it, and it's got, in fact, they've got even now things that cash register people can, check and see if it's a real currency. But my point here is it's very easy to take, for me to hand you a dollar bill and you go, okay, that's a dollar bill. You don't need to know anything else. You just need to, okay, that's a dollar bill. Good. You take it, boom, gone. CloudCoin, using the RAIDA technology, operates essentially the same way. In the CloudCoin, there is a special code in it. And when somebody takes a CloudCoin and I take it and I give it to somebody else, halfway across the planet, you have all these different redundant locations, okay, that verify the coin. It's almost like a passport. Think of dozens of these places, these nodes all across the internet, where when a CloudCoin is traveling from point A to point B, all these passport officers are instantaneously checking the validity of the CloudCoin. It's called counterfeit detection and prevention. That's it. That's all. That's what RAIDA is all about. It's counterfeit detection and prevention. It's an anti-counterfeiting technology. But because of the simplicity of it, it can transfer quickly with virtually no energy expended. And because it can do that, the cost for transactions can be infinitesimal if not completely negated. The speed can happen quickly. A transaction can happen on a mobile phone. So remember when I was talking about all those unbanked people? All those people, 2 billion people? The RAIDA technology, the cloud coins themselves, are absolutely ideal for the unbanked world. Okay? Absolutely ideal. Well, fraud happens in part because some pirate, like a worldwide network of passport officers, customs officers, who are checking your passport instantly, many different times over. All right. So Sean has now gotten patent pending on this RAIDA technology that he developed. And he has now launched a company called RAIDA Tech. And some of the areas they're focusing on with the RAIDA Tech is obviously supplying other private currencies with a better solution than blockchain. They can be a source of supplying countries like Venezuela, who can't seem to get things right in terms of developing their own blockchain currency tied to their oil. I mean, for RAIDA to be able to solve that problem for Venezuela, that's pretty easy. Also, there are these huge barter networks that use barter dollars inside there. These are networks of thousands, if not tens of thousands of companies that trade back and forth services and products without the use of dollars. But they do have some type of currency. It's called barter dollars. Well, what if RAIDA supplied the underlying technology so a barter dollar could become a RAIDA dollar? And I don't want to. I was about to say something, but I'm going to hold that back for a second. So RAIDA technology is something that can supply an underlying technology to make barter dollars something that not only can be used inside of a barter network, but if done properly, those barter dollars, if they're utilizing the RAIDA technology, could then be used outside and tradable with other currencies through BitShares, through CloudCoin, on and on. What's another area that one could use RAIDA technology for? Any of you ever heard of a situation where people bought concert tickets and went to the event only to find out that they were frauded? Absolutely. It happens all the time. How about tickets to sporting events? Happens all the time. How about tickets to theme parks where there are coupons offered? Fraud happens all the time. Well, once again, the RAIDA technology can be used by all these ticket outlets like Ticketmaster to have a true anti-counterfeitable ticket. All right? What's another application? I think we've already touched on the underbanked world. All these people that, don't have bank accounts. That's an obvious one. Let me tell you about another situation. Have you heard about voter fraud? Anybody heard about voter fraud before? Anybody heard about people that couldn't get access to an ID, who couldn't vote because they didn't have some type of ID like birth certificate? You ever heard of that problem? Well, that problem is resolved with RAIDA Tech. Once again, it can be used to verify the authenticity of either the thing itself or the person itself using it. Okay? What's another application? Store coupons. Where once again, people, right now, remember they used to clip coupons. You'd go to your newspaper and you'd buy a newspaper and they had a big section where you clip the coupons. Well, I don't know about you, but the newspapers I see these days are about, they're about 30 or 40 pages instead of hundreds of pages they were the Sunday paper even 10 years ago. These newspapers are going the way of the dinosaur. They're going the way of a public payphone or a fax machine. But coupons are still a cool deal. They're something cool. And if you have RAIDA Tech that's underlying a coupon, you can't get frauded because there's coupon fraud. So anything that can be frauded can be solved with the RAIDA technology. Now, how does this apply to CloudCoin? How does this lift the price of CloudCoin? Well, every time another currency uses RAIDA Tech instead of blockchain, all of a sudden it's much easier to set up trading and transactions between the two currencies, isn't it? If you have private currencies that are being developed by major companies, like they could develop a private currency between banks. There could be a private currency that's developed on Amazon. There's been lots of talk about Amazon developing its own blockchain type of currency. Well, what if, just go sky's the limit. Amazon goes, I like this RAIDA technology. All of a sudden, you have the potential of having a currency that can trade for CloudCoin, and CloudCoin can trade for this Amazon, just hypothetical Amazon currency. The barter currencies. Once again, you have to think this way. The more that the underlying RAIDA technology is used as a valuable, even with collectibles, digital collectibles, same thing, Celebrium. We're getting the pictures done. By the way, we sent out our first kit to our first celebrity to do their first video. And we just had another celebrity agree to move forward to have their own Celebrium unit 3 days ago, excuse me. But once again, if you have digital collectibles that are on the RAIDA platform, RAIDA technology, those can begin trading on BitShares or trading directly with CloudCoin. So the more places that use the RAIDA technology, the more people could get that valuable through the RAIDA, because it's sitting on RAIDA, and then they could use it to swap or trade with other currencies. That's how currencies work, man. They have trading back and forth. Right now, I have dollars trade with yens, yens trade with euros. That's how you start establishing the massive use of a given currency. If it's used, it's used. If you get my drift? The more you use it, more people will use it. And more people will want to get their currency, and they could trade it to other people for their currencies. So the more the RAIDA tech gets out into different nooks and crannies, whether they're barter dollars, private currencies, underlying technology for other digital currencies, currencies from other countries. But once the RAIDA technology is accepted more and more and more and more, all the people who have all these cloud coins, all of a sudden you have so many more people who want to buy and sell the coins, which, the more, if you can take a look, what are we doing with RAIDA Tech? We are pushing the technology out. We're doing more pushing out than people pushing in, if you know what I'm saying. It's not like there's lots of people out there trying to reduce the usage of CloudCoin. There just isn't. But there's a lot of activity to increase the usage. The more interest, the more increasive usage of the underlying technology, it will affect everything associated with it. So that's the importance of what's happening with RAIDA Tech. And we certainly recognized that months and months ago. My wife did, for sure.